Hi, everybody. I am back. This is Princess Ariel coming to you with another car chat, baby. If you remember the ghost story that I told on Las Vegas at the Tropicana Hotel, well, now I'm back with a follow up that I just found out about a day or so ago that the Tropicana has officially closed its doors to its last living, and I say that with my full chest, hotel guest. The Las Vegas Tropicana WhoreTel is closing its doors. So let's dial back, some years. We're going to say from 2010. I came to Vegas in 2007 to 2010, was about 4 years or so of my time working for Tropicana before they ran me off once again for being trans. And baby, not only was it haunted, it was not trans friendly, at least in my experience. And so I don't even know where to begin. I'll just begin with just my memories in general of working at the front desk at the Tropicana. And I had met so many wonderful Filipino ladies. I remember meeting this really beautiful black lady named Shalia. I remember meeting this lady named Gwendolyn. She was, I think, kind of like pseudo supervisor, or she had some position that I can't even remember because it's been so long. But she was pretty much keeping a joint afloat. And so many other girls that, Wendy and Mex American girl, and so many of my friends and stuff that I made while I was there. And I'm not going to name everybody because the list would go on, but they know who they are. And I just am sad to see people lose their jobs, first of all, at least the ones that I liked, and the people that worked in the hotel, the gamblers, the card people, the people who worked the gaming area, the people who did all the shows and stuff that were over there. I don't know if that show had already closed, but they used to have a really nice show over there that they did, and so on and so forth. I hate to see people losing their jobs, but I was one of the ones that they ran off because I was transgender. That was the only reason that I could come up with all the crazy things that were going on. And I had this one manager, I just remember him. His name was Greg. And every day that I would come in and that he would be on duty, the first thing he would do would inspect my uniform and tell me, your skirt is too short, or your slit in your skirt is too high. There's a button missing on your shirt. Like every day I would come in, it would be something about my uniform. Oh, your shirt looks dingy. And he would always send me off the desk and downstairs to the wardrobe area. And there was always this old Hispanic man down there who barely spoke English that would order the clothes and everything like that. So he always would have me plus size clothes on order, which they would never come in because I guess Greg would go down there and tell him, don't do it because I'm just taunting her. So the taunts continued for months and months and months. I tolerated it. I remember working graveyard, and there was a time when usually in graveyard I would not have a whole lot of like cash on hand sales. So I think the drawers would have like $100 or $200 or something like that in the till, and then you just deposit it at night, and whatever extra money that would come at the front desk would be like mostly credit card receipts and stuff like that. And all the stuff would go downstairs, and you will vault it. It's all cameras and everything. And the next morning, Greg was telling me, well, you need to go home because security's coming to escort you out because you're being investigated for theft. I said, okay, so not that many people checked in during the night, and you're sending me home because you think I stole a funky $100 or 200 or whatever. I said, bitch, if it was 100,000 or 200,000 maybe, but $100 funky, bitch, no. So I knew I wasn't a thief, and I knew that this would be like a long ordeal because they usually took them a couple of weeks or a week or two to investigate. And so the first time that they did it, I took a vacation and I went down to Yuma, Arizona, and I got a hotel room over there, and I took my car and drove into the border into Algodones and started going shopping. I just treated it as like a vacation. So to get from Vegas and go down to Yuma, Arizona, it takes about more or less about 4 hours, I guess. It's depending on how fast you drive. You could probably get there in 3 if you drive fast, but it was a back roads and it's very pretty and everything, very scenic, very deserty. Not much to do on the back roads, but just admire God's presence, and I loved it. So I would take the time off because I knew that I wasn't a thief, and I knew that they couldn't accuse me of stealing no funky $100 from them. And of course, they would call me back to work, and then they would have to, dock me for those days off. I would get paid for the investigative times. If they didn't find anything, you were going to get paid for those days that you had to miss. So I'm like, collect my check, get my coins, bitch, and they would rinse and repeat. Like, it happened several times, and every time I was like, oh, so I'm a thief, and my costume, this little funky outfit that I wear is always an issue. Now, granted, everybody on the desk had the same uniforms, the same wardrobe, the same everything, and they never picked on those people about their uniforms ever. But then soon the rumor mill, as I was making friends, was going around that these people knew that I was trans, and I hadn't really opened myself up to them like that because literally I was just there to work, and I really didn't give two shits about, what somebody thought about me, because I had already, not too long ago been run off from Disney World. Like, they ran me off from that company after 10 years. And then I bounced around back and forth from Arizona to Florida, back and forth until, sorry, I just got a call, but I'll take care of that later. Bounced around until I ended up finally back in grad school and going to get my teaching degree, and after that I moved to Vegas and then started working at the hotels after I found out I couldn't get the pay and stuff that they had promised over there. So I went back to school and double mastered, studying education, teaching English as a second language, and subbing for a couple of years and working at the hotels. So I was doing both, and I was making good money. And it's just the girls kept, sliding me and picking at me, making little nasty comments and stuff like that. And I didn't know what to do because it was like everybody was coming at me all at once. And I had already been there for probably a couple of years already, but they just, the viciousness just kept coming out over and over and over again for whatever reason. People be jealous of you for all kinds of crazy reasons, and I didn't have time to sit there and entertain it because a lot of them were married, a lot of them have kids, a lot of them didn't have a kind of life that I had. All I had was a dog. So that was my baby, and I didn't worry about what other people were doing in their lives. So I started trying to find ways to pray, read inspirational books and stuff, because on top of that, all of the stuff that was going on up there, also I was being, experiencing haunts and stuff like that as I would go in and out of the building, and it was just terrifying. And I knew in my heart that one day that hotel was going to get torn down because it was so old and so full of spooky, creepy, eerie things that would happen there, on top of all the craziness that was going on the front desk. So one day I went into a 99-cent store and I found these Catholic candles, and I started lighting them up and praying on the people who I felt like were just being irritating to me for no reason. And some people started to kind of disappear. Some people would disappear, like quit their jobs, get fired or whatever, and they'd be gone. That manager, I lit a candle on him, looked like right around the time when I started lighting candles on him, all of a sudden he was retired and he was gone. And several of the girls, they just, kept coming at me. I kept lighting them up and their asses kept disappearing, and one of them was, going through it, and in her personal life. She thought it had something to do with me. I was like, no, girl, don't blame me for all that. But I am lighting a candle on you, by the way. Yeah, I am. I don't know you. You don't know me. So keep my name out your mouth. Thank you very much, because I don't know you like that. And whatever your thoughts is on trans people, where you think people need to be on the streets or whoring or whatever, we seeing these girls come, all kinds of girls coming in and out this hotel with these men. So that ain't got nothing to do with me. So don't put me in a spot that a box that I ain't checked, because I can check my own boxes. I don't need none of y'all to do that, because all of us sitting up here making the same amount of money. So you can save all that little shallow conversation, because girl, that's not working for me. And so it was a lot. And then when I finally made up my mind to leave Vegas, it was after me and my ex had broken up, and he had taken pretty much all the money I had. I had to walk to work every day, take buses, do all this creepy, scary stuff just to get to and from work. And I was able to save up a couple of $1,000s and buy me a vehicle. And I packed that vehicle up. Around that time, we had changed hands under new management. I think an Arab guy had bought the place, and he was wanting all the front desk to be very, non-dark skinned. So they started trying to come up with ways to push people out again. And a lot of times the security people would be in on it. The security people didn't like me. Some of them just was giving the L word vibes. And I was just like, what is up? Well, we're all people of color. So I don't get why we are always our own worst enemies, and we're always pulling up to the front door as if we, have taken the keys out of our master's hands and replaced him with our dark skin. So I put up with that, and I finally let them just like do whatever you want. They was gonna push me out saying I fell asleep, but I was actually sick, and had begged them to let me go home. And by morning time, because I was so drowsy from the medicine, they were like, "Oh, we saw you sleeping. We got you. I said, "You don't have me, because guess what? I'm fixing to move and leave out of state. So whatever y'all do, if you're gonna fire me, fire me. It don't matter to me." So they fired me or whatever. I signed the papers. I didn't even try to fight it, because I had already packed my house up into my new vehicle, and we were on our way to upstate New York. We're getting the fuck out of Vegas, and I left, and I'd never look back. But I said, I will live to see the day that the doors close on this haunted bitch. And all those bitches who were nasty to me, you're gonna see what it feels like to be run off the job. And 14 years later, bitch, here I sit before you, saying so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye to you, and you, all of you bitches who have run me off my job. Now you fixing to get to feel what it feels like to be without a job and be homeless, or whatever the hell is going to happen to you in your life now that you are going to be moving on to your next venture in life. I wish you guys well. That hotel, I can't wait till they knock it down and turn it into a baseball field stadium. It's still going to have some haunts on that ground, because whatever happened in the 50s when them gangsters built it, God, heaven knows, but it had entities. So anytime whatever gets built over it, just know you're building it on top of a grave, honey, because that thing is haunted. It shall forever be haunted. So, and all those people who did all that stuff to me, baby, I feel bad for y'all right now. Because, bitch, I'm sure a lot of y'all are feeling it. Hope you save your coins. So, see how life works? You do your dirt to somebody. It might be sometimes some years. You get years to enjoy and be nasty to people, and then one day the doors will shut down on you. Now you get to see what it feels like. Enjoy. Hopefully you can rely on the money that you got saved, or dip into some of your pension plans. You know what? You stole that from me too, so I don't have nothing. I wasn't able. When they fire you, you don't have no union to come to the rescue, even though you're paying union dues and all that. Don't fall for that shit. None that came, especially I had moved out of the state too. They definitely weren't trying to do anything. And so I literally was penniless after I left. Well, I wasn't penniless, but I was well on my way to being penniless. And then it was in 2010 when, the economy was doing this, banking industries and everything was, falling apart. So I felt that pinch when I got to upstate New York. And luckily my dog got sick, and then I ended up moving back to my home state. And here I am to this day. Like, I just was like waiting for this. I said someday I'm going to hear about that Tropicana, and here we are. So I hope you enjoyed this story time. It's going to take me a minute to chop this up into some pieces. It's going to run about 15 minutes. And if you like my stories, please like, share, and follow. This is just my own personal recounts of my time at Tropicana. There's so much more I could say, but I will, go from and say less. So thank you again for listening. I'll go ahead and chop this video up and try to throw you some reels and pictures in and post it. And if you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, okay, oh well, that's okay too. Um, this is Princess Ariel once again. Princess Ariel M on YouTube, Princess Ariel M on Instagram, or Tu Mundo de Serena on Instagram, and I'm on TikTok and Fanbase. Find me and follow, support. Thank you guys. Love you. Bye.